We have all been waiting for this. After playing as the 13th forward in SK's first playoff game, Ivan Demidov gets the start on the top line and produces with an amazing goal, a sick, cold celly, and even a pass that would have led to a nasty assist if Kuznetsov had just shot. But it's not just Ivan Demidov that we have to dive into today. There's been another Habs prospect literally setting records down in Laval as he scored again in yesterday's game, as there's a push for him to make the team sooner rather than later. And finally, there are some major lineup decisions to be made right now as Montreal's left wing too. There's seemingly a gaping hole. Is it for Demidov? Is it for some other people? Well, down the stretch right now, there are a lot more decisions to make in the shorter term. So we got to dive into all that coming up on this episode of Habs Digest. And we're just going to jump right back into this lineup thing because let's be honest, this is what a lot of us have been talking about. And when you look at this lineup, I can't help but feel that this is just Demidov's spot. Like, Coach Marty at this point feels like he doesn't quite trust Joshua Roy, but the problem is we're not going to get Demidov before the end of the season. Yes, I know Alexander Nikishin is coming over to North America to play for the Hurricanes as soon as SK St. Petersburg is eliminated, but Demidov, well, he doesn't quite have that luxury due to some other constraints with his contract, with him being younger, this and that. So, right now, Montreal's lineup is the big question mark. They're reeling right now. I mean, we all know it. We've seen the losses, but I just want to hear from you guys, because before I dive into what I think Montreal's going to do down the stretch, let me know down below what your thoughts are right now. And now I'm going to dive into it. So Joshua Roy is going to get back in this lineup. I mean, let's be honest, he hasn't been super great. I mean, he's been scoring a little tiny bit, getting some goals here and there. He doesn't really fit with Newhook and Laine. There's no one that really fits quite well with that line, but the 11-7 did not work last game. Now, there were many other factors other than the 11-7 that made that game really not work. But at this point on defense, when you're just playing Arber Xhekaj 4 minutes a night, would you rather that, or would you rather a guy like Joshua Roy fill in, try and get you some scoring up front? Because, look, I'm not saying taking Joshua Roy out of that and mixing up the lines and the forward core is what led to Montreal putting up such a stinker of an offensive performance. It's not, but at this point, Guhle, yeah, he was a -1, but guess what? That's really not that bad in the grand scheme of that game. It was only a -1. When he was out there with Carrier, it was great. He was playing the PK too. And right now, Montreal can't afford to take any luxuries, right? Right now, the Islanders just lost. Now, this actually dates pretty much the exact time I recorded this video. But as of now, I don't know what the score of Blues Avalanche is at this moment. It doesn't really matter. I'm recording probably 20 minutes after this screenshot. But the New York Islanders did lose in regulation to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, there's a big game. Senators, Blue Jackets, Red Wings, Bruins, and Rangers, Sharks all going on today. So you might know the results of those games by the time you're watching this video, but at least the Islanders losing helps Montreal. But at this point, they can't afford to mess around anymore. This team needs to lock in, and these decisions in the lineup, to me, Xhekaj's coming out. I think Joshua Roy comes back in. I think Xhekaj comes out. I think you put Guhle in. You just see what happens. Because, David Savard, as much as we don't like him, he had a pretty good performance in the penalty kill last game. And I know some of the advanced metrics aren't great, but he shows what his value is. I still do like Arber Xhekaj, but when you're trying to be a winning team right now, there's a reason he gets the fewest minutes a lot of the time. He is that kind of enforcer for Montreal, and when they need that, that's great. And if they make the playoffs, then yeah, maybe he'll get a little more ice time. But right now, Cayden Guhle is objectively the better player. Savard plays the role in the PK a bit more. I think Xhekaj's expendable, but I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are, because it's not an easy decision, and I think there's merit for at least a couple of those different guys to come out of the lineup. Though not Mike Matheson, as much as I think a lot of you might say that. Look, he's not amazing, but he can't fully come out of the lineup. I just think he needs to play less than 20 minutes a game for now. But we're going to dive into some other stuff right now, and I mentioned Demidov that we are going to talk about in just a minute. We got to talk about another guy, and I mentioned him briefly at the end of last night's video, though let's be honest, not a lot of people wanted to talk about that game last night, and it's Florian. And I want to look right here at the Laval Rocket goal-scoring leaders this year. Their top 5 scorers. Laurent Dauphin with 24 goals. Pretty great season from him. Jared Davidson coming out of nowhere to put up 21 goals. I mean, look, I liked him a bit on the Seattle Thunderbirds. Didn't think he'd be a 20-goal scorer this year, I'm going to be honest, but I'm glad to see it. Barré-Boulet has been unbelievable. He's been a near point per game down there. One of the top guys in the AHL. Joshua Roy, of course, 20 goals and 46. But then is Florian. And not only does he have 19 goals on the season, most of those have come in the second half of the season. Laval has been a great team all year long. They're the top team in the AHL right now for a reason. But head coach Pascal Vincent has really done some good work with some of these guys, including a guy like Sean Farrell, who has absolutely exploded in the second half of the season. Like, unbelievable, a near point per game for the entire second half of the season. He's had some stretches where he's had like 15 points in 10 games, I think. He's been great. But it's Florian I want to focus on, because not only is he broken The Laval Rocket rookie record for goals in a season, the record was 17. He broke it with his 18th. He's now smashed it even more with his 19th. He's super physical, getting 159 penalty minutes. He's doing exactly what his older brother does, but he's also been getting a lot of faceoffs. He's been playing a lot of center, and he's been good at it. Like, there's some incredible stuff happening with Florian Xhekaj right now, and we look at this progression. I wanted to bring up his OHL days as well, because he was in the GOJHL the year before his draft year. Like, that was the year he turned 18, right? I think he technically could have been drafted there as, like, because he would have been 18 in one day, I think. But no, of course he wasn't. But he was drafted by Montreal, as a lot of people thought it was a reach at the time in the 4th round. 25 points in 68 games, but some of the Habs scouts said, this guy's a unicorn. He just straight up is. You don't see guys like this. 6'4". He actually has some decent offensive upside. Boom, next season, 34 goals in 63 OHL games. Point per game out of nowhere. And we're like, okay, let's see how he does in Laval. You know, he's going to be a more physical... Yeah, he's been playing like bottom 6 a lot of the season, but he still has 19 goals. And he's been playing a lot of center. What he has been doing is insane. Now, I'm not advocating to bring him up right now to Montreal. I'm just saying that what was once maybe seen as more of a stretch to ever make the team, but, it'd be really cool, really good story, is becoming maybe a bit more of a reality. And again, if a guy like Michael Pezzetta can't crack the lineup right now, you got to imagine Florian Xhekaj is not going to either. Because Pezzetta does have at least that NHL experience, but we're talking in the next couple years, not even saying necessarily next year, but that kind of grinder guy for the 4th line, as some of our guys are going to come and go and this and that, if he can develop his faceoffs, even if he could be a penalty killing type of guy, I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't think it's extremely likely he's going to carve out like a super long NHL career, but I'm saying the possibilities are higher now than ever, and what we're witnessing down in Laval is at least very good for this team that has a great shot at winning the Calder Cup. But speaking of winning their championships, we're talking about Montreal making the playoffs. We're talking about Laval clinching a playoff spot. We got to move over to SKA, and I just want to put up this tweet. SKA is heading to OT. They lost, by the way, so they're down 2-0 in their series. Their season's on the verge of being over. They are heading home right now, though. Demidov had the only goal, has been SKA's best forward by a large margin. His 5 shots near the end of the 3rd period. He has 1 goal, and I'm pretty sure SKA has only scored 2 goals so far in these 2 games. Let's show the goal. Ivan Demidov, great stuff. I mean, look, right in front, taps it in perfectly. Not like a super snipe or anything, but right where he needs to be, sneaking in backdoor, perfect there. But also the playmaking, right? He looked like one of the best players on the ice. Look at this pass right here. I mean, I think Kuznetsov should have shot that. I don't really know what he was doing. He was trying to get Demidov another goal is what he was trying to do. But the guy who led SK in team scoring, who was the 13th forward in their first playoff game, was put back on that top line for this game today. And this win, like, you had to win kind of game. And look, that second thing came late in the 3rd too. It would have been so amazing for Demidov to have the only goal and then set up, well, then I guess it wouldn't have been the only goal after, then set up the game-winning goal assist right here. Oh, look at that. 2 minutes left in the 3rd. I'm so sad. But again, just goes to show, I'm not going to get into the politics of this again, because I feel like we've talked about that a little bit too much. But I just got to say it. This guy is super special. Oh, shocker. I know Demigod is special, but like watching him play, I didn't catch the whole game here. I was watching bits and pieces, but Grant really summarized it well here. 5 shots near the end of the 3rd, set up Kuznetsov, one of their best forward. It has been their best forward by a fair margin. The amount of opportunity he creates is insane. We all saw his interview yesterday. He was clearly annoyed that he was the 13th forward, given these short one-word answers. Montreal media may have a field day if he tries to pull that over here, but then again, I know he'll get the training, and honestly, his personality seems great for it already. The guy is locked in all the time, ready to go. I'm just pumped to see him actually get ice time, because look, shocker. Oh, look, we lost. We had only 1 goal. We need offense. I guess we'll play literally our top scorer, Ivan Demidov, and he goes out there and gets you a goal. Like, I don't know, just insane stuff to me that he's even getting benched at all. I don't need to dive into that anymore. What I am happy about is that when he gets the ice time, he produces. It's been that way all season long. It's going to be that way next season for the Montreal Canadiens. I cannot wait to get him out of there, to get him over to North America, to see him suit up for the Bleu, Blanc, et Rouge, and maybe just take this lineup spot that seems to be open and up for the taking. But that'll do it for this episode of Habs Digest. How do you feel about our prospects? How do you feel about our lineup? There's a lot that I talked about in today's show, and I'd love to hear all your thoughts down below. I've been your host, Josh Gosse. I'll catch you in the next one.